Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Mysterious Podcast. I hope you all are well. Today you will see the history of the story's mystery UFOs. Let's see the history. The miracle of the sun. Also known as the miracle of Fatima, is a series of events reported to have occurred miraculously on October 13, 1917. Attended by a large crowd who had gathered in Fatima, Portugal in response to a prophecy made by three shepherd children, Lucia Santos and Francisco and Jacinta Marto. The prophecy was that the Virgin Mary would appear and perform miracles on that date. Newspapers published testimony from witnesses who said that they had seen extraordinary solar activity, such as the sun appearing to dance or zigzag in the sky, advance towards the earth, or emit multicolored light and radiant colors. According to these reports, the event lasted approximately 10 minutes. The local bishop opened a canonical investigation of the event in November 1917, to review witness accounts and assess whether the alleged private revelations from Mary were compatible with Catholic theology. The local priest conducting the investigation was particularly convinced by the concurring testimony of extraordinary solar phenomena from secular reporters, government officials, and other skeptics in attendance. Bishop José da Silva declared the miracle worthy of belief on October 13, 1930, permitting, officially, the cult of Our Lady of Fatima within the Catholic Church. At a gathering on October 13, 1951 at Fatima, the papal legate, Cardinal Federico de Deschini, told the million people attending that on October 30th, October 31st, November 1st, and November 8th, 1950, Pope Pius XII himself witnessed the miracle of the sun from the Vatican gardens. The early and enduring interest in the miracle and related prophecies has had a significant impact on the devotional practices of many Catholics. There has been much analysis of the event from critical sociological and scientific perspectives. According to critics, the eyewitness testimony was actually a collection of inconsistent and contradictory accounts. Proposed alternative explanations include witnesses being deceived by their senses due to prolonged staring at the sun and then seeing something unusual as expected. Estimates of the number of people present range from 30,000 and 40,000, by Avelino de Almeida writing for the Portuguese newspaper O Século, to 100,000, estimated by lawyer José de Almeida Garrett. Various claims have been made as to what actually happened during the event. According to many witnesses, after a period of rain, the dark clouds broke and the sun appeared as an opaque, spinning disk in the sky. It was said to be significantly duller than normal, and to cast multicolored lights across the landscape, the people, and the surrounding clouds. The sun was then reported to have careered towards the earth before zigzagging back to its normal position. Witnesses reported that their previously wet clothes became suddenly and completely dry, as well as the wet and muddy ground that had been previously soaked because of the rain that had been falling. Not all witnesses reported seeing the sun dance. Some people only saw the radiant colors. Several people saw nothing. Skeptic Brian Dunning commented on an image commonly mistaken for a photograph of the sun taken at Fatima. An old black and white photograph of the actual sun miracle event shows a lot of dark rain clouds behind some trees and the sun poking through. There is certainly nothing in the photograph that looks unusual, but of course a photograph is static. Whatever the crowd saw was not interesting enough to be noticeable in a photograph. The photograph. Originally published in 1951 by L'Osservatore Romano, was subsequently determined to have been taken approximately 8 years later in a different Portugal town of a different solar phenomenon. The misattributed image, however, continues to circulate on the internet. The 3 children who originally claimed to have seen Our Lady of Fatima also reported seeing a panorama of visions, including those of Jesus, Our Lady of Sorrows, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and Saint Joseph blessing the people. In the 4th edition of her memoirs, written in 1941, Lucia said that on the occasion of their 3rd visit to the Cova da Iria, on July 13, 1917, she asked the lady to tell them who she was, and to perform a miracle so that everyone would believe. The lady told her that they should continue to come to the Cova each month until October, when the requested miracle would occur. I think this must be some astronomical event, indeed it must be a miracle of God. What do you guys think about it? Please comment and let us know about the second story. Roswell Incident. Everyone knows the Roswell Incident. Let's know its story. What is the origin of that UFO and what is the reason behind keeping the media smile so secret? The Roswell Incident is a conspiracy theory which alleges that the 1947 crash of a United States Army Air Forces balloon near Roswell, New Mexico was actually caused by an extraterrestrial spacecraft. Operated from the nearby Alamogordo Army Air Field and part of the top-secret Project Mogul, the balloon was intended to detect Soviet nuclear tests. After metallic and rubber debris was recovered by Roswell Army Air Field personnel, the United States Army announced their possession of a flying disc. This announcement made international headlines but was retracted within a day. Obscuring the true purpose and source of the crashed balloon, the Army subsequently stated that it was a conventional weather balloon. In 1978, retired Air Force officer Jesse Marcel revealed that the Army's weather balloon claim had been a cover story, but speculated that the debris was of extraterrestrial origin. Popularized by the 1980 book The Roswell Incident, this speculation became the basis for long-lasting and increasingly complex and contradictory UFO conspiracy theories, which over time expanded the incident to include governments concealing evidence of extraterrestrial beings, gray aliens, multiple crashed flying saucers, alien corpses, and autopsies, and the reverse engineering of extraterrestrial technology, none of which have any factual basis. Despite the lack of evidence, many UFO proponents claim that the Roswell debris was derived from an alien craft, and accuse the U.S. government of a cover-up. The conspiracy narrative has become a trope in science fiction literature, film, and television. The town of Roswell leverages this to promote itself as a destination for UFO-associated tourism. By 1947, the United States had launched thousands of top-secret Project Mogul balloons carrying devices to listen for Soviet atomic tests. On June 4, researchers at Alamogordo Army Air Field launched a long train of these balloons. They lost contact within 17 miles, 27 kilometers, of W. Mac Brazel's ranch, where the balloon subsequently crashed. Later that month, Brazel discovered tinfoil, rubber, tape, and thin wooden beams scattered across several acres of his ranch. Amid the first summer of the Cold War, press nationwide covered Kenneth Arnold's June 24 account of what became known as flying saucers, objects which allegedly performed maneuvers beyond the capabilities of any known aircraft. Publicity of Arnold's report incited a wave of over 800 sightings. With no phone or radio, Brazel was initially unaware of the ongoing flying disc craze, but he was told about it when visiting his uncle in Corona, New Mexico on July 5. The next day he informed Sheriff George Wilcox of the debris he had found. 10 Wilcox called Roswell Army Air Field, RAF, now Walker Air Force Base, who assigned Major Jesse Marcel and Captain Sheridan Cavett to return with Brazel and gather the material from the ranch. Base Commander Colonel William Blanchard notified the 8th Air Force Commanding Officer Roger M. Ramey of their findings. In 1991, Kevin Randall and Donald Schmidt published UFO Crash at Roswell. The 1991 book sold 160,000 copies and served as the basis for the 1994 television film Roswell. Randall and Schmidt added testimony from 100 new witnesses. Though hundreds of people were interviewed by various researchers, only a few claimed to have seen debris or aliens. According to PFLOC, of the 300-plus individuals reportedly interviewed for UFO Crash at Roswell, 1991, only 23 could be reasonably thought to have seen physical evidence, debris. Of these, only 7 asserted anything suggestive of otherworldly origins for the debris. Battle of Los Angeles. When documenting the incident in 1949, the United States Coast Artillery Association identified a meteorological balloon sent aloft at 1 a.m. as having started all the shooting, and concluded that, once the firing started, imagination created all kinds of targets in the sky and everyone joined in. In 1983, the U.S. Office of Air Force History attributed the event to a case of war nerves triggered by a lost weather balloon and exacerbated by stray flares and shell bursts from adjoining batteries. As an example of incompetence, the incident was derisively referred to as the Battle of Los Angeles, or the Great Los Angeles Air Raid. Incident. On the evening of February 24, 1942, an anti-aircraft barrage of more than 1,440 rounds is launched at what is initially thought to be a Japanese aerial attack on the City of Angels. 5 civilians die, 3 from traffic accidents spawned by the chaos and 2 from heart attacks. What, if anything, is being fired upon remains a mystery. Theories include weather balloons, UFOs, approaching target to within a few miles of the coast, and at 2:21 a.m. the regional controller ordered a blackout. Thereafter the information center was flooded with reports of enemy planes, even though the mysterious object tracked in from sea seems to have vanished. At 2:43 a.m. planes were reported near Long Beach, and a few minutes later a Coast Artillery colonel spotted about 25 planes at 12,000 feet over Los Angeles. At 3:06 a.m. a balloon carrying a red flare was seen over Santa Monica and 4 batteries of anti-aircraft artillery opened fire, whereupon the air over Los Angeles erupted like a volcano. From this point on reports were hopelessly at variance. Not the least at variance are the media reports. According to the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, a witness puts the number of planes at 50. 3 are shot down over the ocean. A battery near Vermont Ave takes out another. Air battles rages over Los Angeles is the headline of the Examiner's War Extra. The normally more staid Los Angeles Times says, probably much of the confusion came from the fact that anti-aircraft shell bursts, caught by the searchlights, were themselves mistaken for enemy planes. In any case, the next 3 hours produced some of the most imaginative reporting of the war. Swarms of planes, or, sometimes, balloons, of all possible sizes, numbering from 1 to several hundred, traveling at altitudes which ranged from a few thousand feet to more than 20,000 and flying at speeds which were said to have varied from very slow to over 200 miles per hour, were observed to parade across the skies. These mysterious forces dropped no bombs and, despite the fact that 1,440 rounds of anti-aircraft ammunition were directed against them, suffered no losses. After the war, Japan says it has no planes in the area at the time of the raid. The Army Air Forces in World War II, Volume 1 posits weather balloons as the most likely explanation. A photo from the Los Angeles Times has been used to prove it is an extraterrestrial craft. Another explanation appears in an article attributed to the veteran Los Angeles newsman Matt Weinstock, in which he interviews a man who says he served in one of the anti-aircraft batteries. A photo published in the Los Angeles Times on February 26, 1942, has been featured in UFO conspiracy theories as evidence of an extraterrestrial visitation. 21 They assert that the photo clearly shows searchlights focused on an alleged alien spaceship. However, the photo was heavily modified by photo retouching prior to publication, a routine practice in graphic arts of the time intended to improve contrast in black and white photos. Times writer Larry Harnish noted that the retouched photo along with faked newspaper headlines were presented as true historical material in trailers for the 2011 film Battle, Los Angeles. Harnish commented, "If the publicity campaign wanted to establish UFO research as nothing but lies and fakery, it couldn't have done a better job." Thank you for the watching. Friends, how did you like the documentary? I liked it. Please like it and share or subscribe the channel. Stay tuned to our channel to hear more such documentary and stories. Thank you very much for watching to the story.
Correspondents in world capitals and in the fighting zones in the Western Pacific are ready to give you the latest news direct by shortwave radio. And now for news of our own West Coast, we take you to Los Angeles and the report of Byron Palmer.
Anti-aircraft guns went into action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific wartime this morning. The anti-aircraft guns began barking during a blackout ordered by the 4th Interceptor Command at 2:25 a.m. The unidentified object, which some sources thought might be a blimp, moved slowly down the Pacific coast from Santa Monica and disappeared south of Long Beach. Army officials declined to comment on the possibility that the object might have been a blimp. However, it required nearly 30 minutes to travel some 25 miles, far slower than an airplane. Watchers on the rooftop of the Columbia Broadcasting Building in the heart of Hollywood could plainly see the flashes of guns and searchlights sweeping the skies in a wide arc along the coastal area. Concussion of the shells could be felt in downtown Los Angeles, 15 miles away. U.S. Army planes quickly took to the dark skies, but whether they